Hey, Emily, welcome back to the channel. All right, so this is one of my most watched videos, this Book of Moses, and I don't think I had a microphone when I did it. I was just using like a webcam microphone, so it's probably kind of low. So I'm redoing it, and I did the video. It's like 30 minutes long. I'm only going to read this first part. It's going to still be like a good 15 minutes. But this is chapter 1, and this is about Jacob and the angel. And I'll show you on my channel real quick. The Book of Moses here. This is it. It actually has like 4 videos. So this one is 30 minutes. So even if you watch this first one, to get the first part of the birth of Moses, you're going to still have to come and watch this video here. This first one with this guy. I don't know. When I'm on Zoom, everything runs slow. I ain't got the internet like that. But I'm not going to click on it. I'm going to go back to the book and just give you a quick summary. So this is just going to be chapter 1 I'm doing here. And it's Jacob and the angel. And this is the Jacob whose name is changed to Israel. Okay, and then he names one of his sons Judah. But listen to this story and pay attention. Okay, this is after, it picks up after Noah. I have that book on my channel as well. And so you might want to, if you're not familiar with it, but it's going to pick up right after Noah and the banishment of Lucifer from this world. So all these stories are different. I'll just tell you again. But okay, here we go. I'm just going to get it going. Jacob and the angel, and pay attention because this is important. Many generations have passed since the time of Noah and the banishment of Lucifer from this world. With the passing of each generation, the influence of Noah became weaker, and the world again sank into deep darkness. Though Lucifer was banned from embodiment in this world, he had spread much of his seed, and both he and his master Satan had many willing servants in this world. Humankind had spread over the face of the world, dividing into a multitude of tribes and nations. The stronger nations made war on the weaker, enslaving the people always in the name of their God. For lo, Lucifer wears many masks and is the tribal god of many nations. The Nazarene nation was in dispersion, but with a scattered remnant surviving. Most of that remnant was in Cush. Also in Cush were the children of the Canaanites, who called themselves Yahwehites, after the false Yahweh. For behold, the Canaanites never called themselves Canaanites, but always called themselves Yahwehites. It was the Nazarenes that called them Canaanites. For lo, the Nazarenes refused to dishonor the name of the true Yahweh by calling Lucifer's minions Yahwehists. In Cush, both the Canaanites of Yisrael and the Nazarenes of Yisrael had one thing in common. Both were under the heel of the army of Egypt. For behold, Egypt was the strongest nation in the world, and being neighbor to Cush, pillaged Cush and took many slaves. It was also in Cush that both the Canaanites and the Nazarenes came to be called Jews. The story of how that happened is called Jacob and the angel. That story now follows. Behold, since the fall of Attila, the Canaanites had been ruled by a succession of high priests of the line of Leviathan. And the Canaanite army enforced the edicts of the high priest. But now a general who did not wish to be subordinate to the high priest ruled the Canaanite army. For behold, the high priest, enraged that the armies of Egypt repeatedly defeated his armies, beheaded many generals, and berated the soldiers, and the army believed that their losses to the Egyptians had at first been due to unwise orders from the high priest, and now to being badly outnumbered. And so there was great animosity between the Canaanite army and the Canaanite priesthood. We'll put all of this in the description box. Now, at this time, the name of the Canaanite general was Jacob, and the name of the Canaanite high priest was Amalek ben Leviathan. And Amalek desired to kill the general, but that would be more difficult than with past generals. For behold, Jacob was greatly admired by his soldiers. Yea, if the soldiers were to discover that Amalek killed Jacob, they might turn on Amalek. So Amalek made a plan. One night he sent 7 of his priests to the tent where Jacob slept. They hit him over the head with a club, knocking him unconscious. Then they bound him with a rope and carried him far into the wilderness. There they would kill him. and the loyal soldiers of Jacob would not know who killed the general. But lo, before they killed Jacob, something unexpected occurred. The 7 Canaanite priests had carried Jacob into the wilderness, and there they met Amalek at the appointed spot. For Amalek desired to watch the killing of Jacob and to gloat. So they staked Jacob to the ground, spread eagle, then kicked him until he woke. When Jacob saw that he was to be slain by Amalek, he was angered and shouted, "Do this, and my men will turn on you." But Amalek gloated and mocked, saying, "Your soldiers will never know." Oh, that's going in the footnotes. Your soldiers will never know what happened. As Amalek raised the dagger to stab the defenseless general, behold, a man in a white robe intervened. Yea, a man jumped from behind a tree with one swing of his staff, knocked the dagger from the hand of Amalek. The name of this intruder was Ariel ben Judah, and he was a Nazarene lion of Zayin. Amalek, recognizing the robes and staff of a Nazarene priest, shrieked, "Kill him!" While Amalek crowded behind them, the 7 priests that served him drew their swords. One of them also carried a spear, yea, that one threw his spear at the Nazarene, but Ariel moved like the wind and dodged the spear. Behold, for the assignment of capturing and killing the Canaanite general, Amalek had selected not just any priest, but trained assassins. These 7 priests were trained killers. Lo, the 7 stalked their prey, circling Ariel. Then, swords held high, they attacked. A moment later, all 7 laid upon the ground, 3 with broken arms. Again and again they attacked, and again they were knocked to the ground. Behold, Ariel ben Judah moved with the quickness of a cat and possessed the strength of a lion, for he was the foremost living master of Nazarene Zayin. When it became apparent that his 7 priests would be soundly defeated, Amalek ran into the night. He knew that Jacob would come for him and that he would bring many soldiers. He knew that the army would side with their general and that he, Amalek, would be killed. And so, upon arrival at the Canaanite temple, he gathered his priests and told them, "The general has made an alliance with them, with the Nazarene priesthood, and the army will stand with him and turn on us. We must flee this land and build a new temple elsewhere. There we will raise our own army. Yea, we must separate ourselves from the corrupt ones and preserve our religion. For lo, already this general has forbid cannibalism, and he has spoken against human sacrifice. We can tolerate no more corruption of the religion given us by our ancestors, but we cannot now stand against his army. Wherefore we will separate ourselves from the apostates and preserve our religion. Who will go with me?" The priests who did not raise their hands were killed. Then, along with a few dozen soldiers that Amalek knew supported him, the priests fled. Yea, they fled to another land and built a new temple, and they raised their own army, and from that time on they were called the Amalekites. After Ariel defeated the 7 Canaanite priests, they fled, for he did not kill them. And though he broke their arms, he purposely did not break their legs, for behold, he wanted them to flee. And they fled. Ariel untied Jacob. Though Jacob was conscious, he was badly injured. The many kicks of the priest had broken several of Jacob's ribs, and his head wound was severe. Wherefore Ariel placed his hands upon the head of Jacob and began to chant and pray. Behold, by this time the sun had risen, and while Ariel chanted, Jacob saw angels descending from the sun to the crown of Judah's head, then again ascending. Yea, it was like there was a golden ladder between the head of Ariel and the sun, with angels descending and ascending. Jacob thought, "This man must be an angel. Yea, for no mortal man can fight like that." And behold, the angels of the sun visit him. Ariel placed his hand on Jacob's wound and prayed, and Jacob felt healing virtue enter his wounds, and Jacob felt calm and at peace. Then Jacob closed his eyes and fell asleep. Yea, he slept all day. And that evening when he woke, Jacob spoke to Ariel. Yea, he questioned Ariel all night. For lo, it is not every day that one can debate with an angel. Behold, Ariel patiently answered the many questions of Jacob. First, he explained that he was not an angel, but a man. He said, "I am a Nazarene of Shevet Ariat." I am a Nazarene of Shevet Ariat, which is the tribe of lions. Jacob said, Never have I seen a man fight like you. You defeated 7 armed men, yet you were armed only with a wooden staff. You dodged their bows, moving like the wind. You could have killed them, but spared them. You did not fight like a man, but like an angel. Ariel replied, This kind of fighting is called Zayin, and it is from our ancestor, Judah, Yehuda. Wherefore we lions are also called Yehudites, says Jews. Then Ariel told Jacob many stories about Judah and how he founded Zayin and fought bravely many times, defeating large forces. Lo, Jacob, a lifelong soldier, was fascinated by the stories of Judah, saying, I will name my son Judah, and my army will praise his name. Behold, Ariel told Jacob of the Essene way of the Nazareans, but Jacob argued against many of the tenets. Yea, all night they debated religion. Jacob said, Some of your ideas are good, but some are foolish. For behold, God is a man, not a man and a woman. And though I agree that cannibalism and human sacrifice are wrong, I see no fault with the sacrifice of animals. And I believe that God gave us animals for food. Ariel answered such protests with great wisdom, but Jacob held to his opinions. Even so, over the course of the night, many of Jacob's views were greatly altered by the words of Ariel. And at the end of the night, with the coming of the dawn, Jacob promised, I will order my people not to harm the Nazareans. Yea, I will cast the priesthood of Amalek from our midst and replace it. I will see that our scrolls are changed to fit my new understanding. Even so, many of the Nazarian tenets I find objectionable and will not adopt. But henceforth may our people live in peace. Jacob returned to his people and rallied his army. Seeing that those loyal to Amalek had fled, he gave not chase, saying, It is enough that we are rid of them. A few of the priests, those loyal to Jacob, had remained, for they had fringed loyalty to Amalek, then hid themselves when he and his followers fled the wrath of Jacob. Jacob counseled with them, saying, Last night I wrestled with an angel. See, so Jacob and even though Ariel told him, I'm no angel, I'm a Nazarian, he said, Behold, I was shown a great vision. Then he instructed them to alter certain things in the scrolls and to add certain things. And though these new scriptures were still not similar to the Nazarian scrolls, they were much improved. Yea, many of the words of the false Yahweh were removed, replaced with better words. Even so, some of the words of the false Yahweh remained. Then Jacob assembled all of his people and told them, From this day we will be called Yehudites. And because I have wrestled with an angel of Elohim, our nation shall be called Yisrael. And that's what Yisrael means. It means he who wrestles with God. And indeed, from that day on, the people of Jacob were called Yehudites, Jews, even as the Nazarian lions were also called. And the nation of Yisrael and Yisrael lived side by side in peace. But though they warred not against one another, the Egyptian army decimated both. Yea, the Egyptians often attacked the region of Cush, killing them of Yisrael and Yisrael, and taking slaves. Over time, the Egyptians destroyed both nations, but with a few survivors scattered throughout the hills. Below, many thousands of Yisrael survived in Egypt as slaves. Yea, and a few hundred of Yisrael also survived in Egypt as slaves. And the Egyptians did not differentiate between them, calling them of both nations Jews, Yehudites. And as both Yisrael and Yisrael were in slavery together, so too they were liberated together. And the story of that liberation is the story of Moses, and that story follows. So this will be the birth of Moses, but that's already on my channel. I just wanted to do this first part. You see how long it was? All right, and so that's the story of Jacob and the angel. Much, much different than the King James Version. It's not an angel. It was a Nazarene lion of Zayin. That's who Ariel was. All righty. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get some more of this good stuff up here. Get your books, guys. Get your books. It's a lot you got to go over. I'm studying up so that the next couple of videos, the new ones that I make, will be thorough, and you'll be able to share them and show people that you care about if you really want to share this with them. Because I think it's about the time right now. And everyone should have had the opportunity to hear these stories regardless of what religion, race, whatever, Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
Genesis to Exodus. Plenty of flesh, stubbornness. Flesh wants us to live carnally. We live spiritually.